Have you been dreaming of travel but not sure where to go or how to begin planning? Well, you found the right podcast.
Welcome to Theme Parks and Passports, the travel podcast for every family ready to explore the world, one destination at a time. I'm Melissa Sanchez, travel addict, wife, and mom of 2 big kids. Along with planning all my family adventures, I've been helping others realize their travel dreams through my company, Spellbound Vacations, since 2010.
And I'm Heidi Mackey, a travel enthusiast with a passion for geek and pulp culture. I'm also a wife and a mom of a spicy tween. Since 2017, I've been creating vacation memories for families through my business, House of Mackey Travel. Join us as we share stories, tips, and talk to those in the know to inspire your family's next great adventure.
Because creating family travel memories can happen in any stage of life. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us this week on Theme Parks and Passports. I'm Melissa Sanchez with Spellbound Vacations.
And I'm Heidi Mackey with House of Mackey Travel. Today we're excited to be joined by Megan Allen, a business development manager with CIE Tours.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. So I am the BDM based in New York for CIE Tours. For those of you not familiar with us, we are a boutique specialized tour operator. We are owned by the Irish government. So obviously Ireland is our specialty, our bread and butter. But we do have a few other destinations that we now include, like the UK, Iceland, Italy, and most recently Spain. We are the largest purchaser of air seats and hotel rooms in Ireland, and we will never be all things to all people in the travel supplier world. But what we do really, really well. So that's basically in a nutshell who we are.
Great. How did you become involved with CIE yourself?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, it's been over 30 years. I know.
Wow.
Long time. I know. But it's such a great company that, it's funny. I did sort of think about retiring last year and I was like, no, I don't want to stop. So here I am still. It's a company I'm very proud to work for. I can honestly say I have gotten very few negative feedback from anyone. We actually have a 95% satisfaction, which we're really proud of. So that's just like, part of the culture of the company is all about the customer. It's all about supporting you guys as travel agents. And it just works well.
So you mentioned, the customer satisfaction and how much you really enjoy this company. So for those who maybe aren't as familiar, what are some of the details that set these tours apart from some of the other tour companies that are out there?
No, that's such a great question. Okay, so basically with CI, by the way, we're in business almost 100 years, so that also says a lot. So really what sets us apart from our competitors is that we include pretty much everything. So when I say everything in this, the world of sandals and all inclusive, I can't say that, but we do include most meals. Normally, it's a 4-star or higher property and always very well situated or the best situated. Some of the small towns don't have a 4-star. They might have 3.5. But I can tell you that even the 3.5 stars are just, most of them are like privately owned by families. You go there, you have the granny bringing you tea in the morning. It's really just, you feel like you're in Ireland there. But basically, the big takeaway that I'd like to emphasize here is that we include all the visits, which means that clients don't get a bill at the end of the week. The price is the price. There's no surprises. And it's a much better value at the end of the day because I've had people tell me that they've gotten $1,500, $1,800 bills at the end of the week because of the extra visit services. And we do include all the top visits too. So I've seen on websites and in brochures, drive by Trinity College. Well, that doesn't mean that you go in and see the Book of Kells. If you want to go see the Book of Kells, it's going to be a 20 or 30 euro. It could be a line. I mean, the Book of Kells has a line always. With us, it's front of line access always. So it's much easier. It's a time saver and a money saver.
So we're talking about the tours, but can you give us an example of probably one of your most popular tours? Like what would we see? What would our tour include?
Okay. The most popular tour. All right. We do have a few that I really like. So the Best of Ireland South is probably one of our top tours because The first time traveler to Ireland normally wants to go to Dublin, Galway and Killarney, and that includes those three destinations. We do have another tour that's really popular. It's called the Ireland South Day Tripper.
Hmm.
And that's based in one location in a little village called Adair, which is on the west side of the country. And it's just a picture postcard town because the main street is lined with thatched roof cottages, which unfortunately you don't see as many of in Ireland now. And you stay in one location for 5 nights, but you tour from there. So you don't have to pack and unpack. You go to Killarney, Dingle, Kinsale, to partial Ring of Kerry, Cliffs of Moher, and you even go to Dublin for the day. And it's a perfect opportunity if people want to spend more time in Dublin. We also offer pre or post there, so they can sort of combine, sort of a stay to really get entrenched in one area to get to know it really well. Maybe spend more time with the locals, which is the most fun part, and then not have to pack and unpack constantly. So that's called the Day Tripper. We do have a pub tour. Although when I'm asked, people always say to me, I want to go on a pub tour. And I always say to them, believe me, they're all pub tours. But we do have one that's called a pub tour. And it's a really nice one because it's a little bit off the beaten path, which I really like. So I think those few tours I can name, right off the top of my head that I would recommend. We have 5-star tour called the Irish Supreme, which includes Tremolin Castle. It includes the Europe Hotel in Killarney, which is considered one of the top hotels in all of Europe. So that's a 5-star tour. All of our tours, we have 18 in Ireland alone. So we do sell up to 44 people. On average, it's 32 to 36, but we can't guarantee it. So we do offer dates within each series. That's what we call a small group, which is 26 max.
And so as you just said, your group in general is 44 max, small group is 26 max. Do you offer private if there's a family, let's say a multi-generational family who all wants to travel together? Do you offer private options?
Great question. All right. So our minimum age on our tour series is 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And we do a lot of multi-general too. The grandparents want to take their children, their grandchildren. So we do offer private driver as well. Now, if the child is above 8, it's fine. They could go on a regular coach. To be very honest, we're not really known to have a lot of kids on our tours, but we do. And more, it seems like we do have families. We do have honeymooners now. So the age of the tours, you would think that people that go on tours are I like to say like me, but it's younger now and more active. And with that being said, we just added this year, which we're really excited about. We added soft walking and hiking tours in Ireland, 2 of them.
Oh, wow.
And those are 16 people max, very small. We use 2 vans that are 8 passengers each. And there's going to be one up in the north by Giant's Causeway and one in the south by Killarney in the McGillicuddy Mountains. Not really going up, just very soft hiking. So that's new. But as far as families go, the private driver, we can do anything. 1 to 9 people would be booked through our private driver experts, and then 10 or more is then with our custom group experts. That's the only difference. But otherwise, we can design whatever they want. I always like to point out too, because people think private driver is expensive, and of course it can be. But there, especially in Ireland, there are 3.5 and 4-star castles. Specifically up in Donegal, a few spotted around the country. So if your clients have a dream of staying in a castle and it's a realistic budget, a lot of times we can come in with the price they need. But I have to say realistic, you can't have a beer budget and a champagne taste, right? But these castles are amazing. And I promise you're going to get that castle experience without having to stay in a 5-star castle price,
Awesome.
Now you touched on a little bit, especially with the multi-gen. I know that you guys are known for your heritage tours. Can you talk a little bit about what a heritage tour would be?
Sure. Okay. Well, that's interesting because when you say heritage, I think that would be a private more because it might be more directed towards a certain family, like an O'Malley or Hennessy. You know what I mean? So our tours are They appeal. There's all different things included. Like we include meals, but we do always include meals in a venue. And when I say venue, I mean a nice restaurant with entertainment, with Irish entertainment, Irish dancing, a nice Irish meal. I'm going to say here now, you're not going to find corned beef and cabbage in Ireland. Yes, it's not an Irish meal, believe it or not, but you'll have a nice Irish stew or salmon or whatever. So we do include that cultural in every tour, the cultural experience. On some of our tours, like on our walking tour, we have a cooking class included. If you go to some of these smaller castles, there's falconry there, yeah, I think we include the culture because every tour includes, like in Ireland, in Dublin, there's a place called Epic Ireland, which is a really interesting interactive museum
Mhm.
that is sort of the whole history of Ireland, including the Great Hunger, which they call now instead of the famine, and the emigration and all that stuff. So I think each tour is different, and some tours will include a little bit more. I guess it really depends on what the clients are looking for. What I always recommend when they're interested in booking or coming to Ireland specifically, or even all of our destinations, I always ask for a bucket list. So when you go on our website, you can go up to the little magnifying glass on top and put in whatever it is, Muckrow's house or I don't know, Cliffs of Moher, and you'll find the tours that go there. So it will help you narrow it down.
And with Ireland, like you just used the words bucket list destination, Ireland tends to be a bucket list destinations for some families, multi-gen or whatnot. But beyond Ireland specifically, what are some of the other destinations? Do your tours go into Northern Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales? When we expand outside of that Ireland bucket list, a lot of families may include these other destinations too. Are you guys able to do that?
Great question. Of course, we go to Northern Ireland. Yes, of course, we do the whole thing. All right, I forgot to mention, you asked about most popular tours, and I forgot this one. It's called the Irish Adventure. And honestly, it is an adventure. It's a 7-night tour. You go up through Belfast, Derry,
Mm.
down through Donegal, through Sligo, Galway, Killarney, and back to Dublin in 7 days.
Wow.
I honestly, I almost picture people running behind the coach running with their luggage. It is so fast paced. But I hate to say, but Americans want to take a 7-day vacation and see everything. That's our most popular tour. People love it, but I don't recommend it because you need a vacation at the end of it. It's so fast-paced. But again, you see everything. So yes, the answer is yes. And by the way, Northern Ireland is very safe. There's no borders, there's no troubles anymore.
I've been to Northern Ireland recently, and actually my daughter visits there, so I can personally speak to. I've been to Belfast, I've been to the coast, I've been around the area. Perfectly safe, perfectly fine. No,
Isn't it beautiful too? It's
gorgeous.
really different from the South because it's more rugged. There's bigger mountains, there's lower valleys. And the people are just as lovely.
Yes.
And then as far as Scotland, England, Wales, yes, we're very strong there as well. We have 5 tours in Scotland only. We have a day tripper in Scotland, like I mentioned, in Ireland, that's based in Glasgow. And then we have the Scottish Dream. We have 2 tours up there that are longer, that are definitely off the beaten path, which I highly recommend. We actually have 7 tours in England, and we just added one this year that's added, including a little bit more of Wales. So a lot of the tours touch on Wales. Wales is a tiny, tiny little gem, I have to tell you. If you have clients that are into castles, that is the place to go. They have most intact castles of any country in Europe, especially because it's so small. And then we have combos. So we have Ireland and Scotland, Ireland and England, and then we also have Italy, of course. As I mentioned, Iceland. We have 2 tours in Iceland. We added a new tour in Italy this year to Sicily. We also have a day tripper in Italy, which is called Tuscan Treasures. It's not called a day tripper, but it's amazing because it's actually 7 days in Montecatini, which is the spa capital of Tuscany. And from there, you go see Siena, Cinque Terre, Lucca, Pisa, and Florence.
Wow.
And you do pack and unpack. And you actually have a full day in Montegatini to, spend time, just mosey around, go to the spa, meet the locals. It's a really popular tour as well.
That sounds amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about your connection with locals in the countries that are not Ireland? Understanding that CIE is owned by the Irish government, so I can see how you'd have the connection with the locals for that. How do you curate the connection outside of Ireland?
We only use local guides. So, in other words, in Scotland, your guide is going to wear a kilt. He's, as they like to say, I did do this with a terrible Irish accent, but they're born, bred, and buttered in the place. So they're in Ireland, they're all Irish, local, born, bred, educated, trained. Same in Scotland, same in England, same in Italy, same in Iceland, all local. They know the landscape, they know the people, they know the little back roads. So yeah, we have the experts. I'll just say that.
So we touched a little bit about size of tour, and you talked a little bit about the motor coaches, but then the self-drive, that sort of thing. If you had a multi-gen family, and I know we did talk about, doing those private, but let's say they didn't want to do private, what would the benefit be for them to do that motor coach, to be in that bigger, maybe a little more comfort between cities and locations?
Okay, that's a great question. Okay, first of all, we do offer self-drive, so
Mhm.
that's a possibility, but only in Ireland, none of our other destinations. But I have to tell you, it's so hard to drive there. I've done it I'm actually gonna be there.
Oh, me
I'm leaving,
too.
We've
and
both
I'm leaving,
driven internationally, and yeah, it's scary.
It is not
so
fun.
I am actually leaving tonight, and I will be driving tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. from Dublin to Belfast.
Oh
So
gosh, and I've done that.
wish
Oh,
me luck.
oh,
Yeah.
fingers crossed. I hit a
And
wall last time
you
I
know
was
what?
there.
I did it last year, and that's all highway. I'm talking about the Irish
Oh,
roads.
yes.
The little Irish roads, right? So, but we do offer that. Now, as far as the benefits of a coach tour, you don't get lost.
Mm.
You learn a lot. You could study a guidebook, Rick Steves or whoever. Unless you're like have a photographic memory, you're never going to remember all the things they're trying to tell you. The guide knows all the things. So, and they're not going to bombard you. It's not like you have to read something and really try to take it in or read it 10 times to try to remember. The guide knows. So, the benefits of a motor coach: no traffic, everything is done, everything is included, all front of line access. You learn so much more. But here's the other thing: in a car, in those beautiful little pictures, you've driven all those lovely stone walls everywhere. You can't see past those walls in a car unless you're in a minivan. When you're in a coach, you're high up. You see everything. You could take a nap. You're not dragging your bags everywhere. You get to the hotel, the driver guide, the bellman take your bags off the coach, put it up to your room. The next morning or when you're leaving, you put your bags outside your room. They'll tell you, say, put them out by 7:30, have a nice breakfast. We're leaving at 9 o'clock. So you're not dragging your bags. I mean, there's so many benefits. Yeah. Even multi-gen, as I said too, the age is getting younger. I mean, I can't tell you if you wanted to book a certain tour, are there kids on the tour? We couldn't really tell you that, but you can bet that there's also on a tour, I have to say, people make friends. And
Mm.
like it's like becomes a little camaraderie by the end, Everybody's Facebook friends at the end, and they have a Google picture group. It's really nice to see.
And I think that we've seen that same kind of trend as our generation has those slightly older kids. We want to expose them earlier than we did. So I think that that's become a trend, is that Gen X millennials are taking their kids on these bigger trips sooner. So you may see more kids soon, it sounds like.
And with that said, with our families, sometimes when you're doing multi-gen, you know, grandma and grandpa, or maybe the tweens may want a little bit of a break during the day. How do your tours balance activities with downtime? Do they have downtime each day? Is it 100% structured? I'm sure it's probably not, but how does CIE work with that?
All right, great question. Okay, yes, we do have a visit or two every day, and it depends on if you're moving. So, if they want to have a little time to like downtime, do not book the Irish Adventure, okay? Because you're not
Okay.
going to get. But look at a tour that stays in a few locations at least 2 nights. So if they don't wanna go on the tour day 2, or even if you have a golfer, they can play golf day 2, they can just hang around the town day 2. As long as we're not moving, they can take the day off and just have it to themselves.
Okay.
So that's the flexibility. And then when they do go on tour, you're usually back to the hotel 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I mean, you're gonna go out in the morning, have a visit, have a lunch somewhere, have another visit possibly in the afternoon, and then but we also do a lot of city walking tours, so, you can kinda get the lay of the land that way so you can gauge, "Maybe I don't wanna go see, I don't know, the Titanic experience in Belfast. I'd rather just go to the Crown Bar, which is the most bombed bar in all of Europe and see it, kinda thing." So, it's definitely flexible. We're not taking attendance. All they have to do is let the driver guide know, "I'm not gonna join you tomorrow," and they're good to go.
When it comes to the custom tours and they're looking to create this itinerary where they want to hit the different spots and maybe add a heritage aspect to it in O'Malley and O'Leary, my family's the
Right.
Mackeys. What type of tools do you have to help us as TAs and also to help our clients be able to, as the feet on the ground, be able to build that type of custom itinerary?
That's a really great question, but I think we would really need the input from you as a Mackey to do your homework. Like we won't, like, you could go on Ancestry or a number of sites and do the whole tree thing, which I would definitely recommend. And then we could make suggestions based on what you tell us. Let's say your home is, my grandfather was from a little town called Ringaskiddy, which is in just below Cork. Like, oh, my grandmother's from Ringaskiddy, and I happen to know, I've been there. There's a pub, and there's not even a post office. So anyway, that's besides the point. But you would have to know where your people are from. Maybe, they've moved around. You might have some in Goma, you might have some in Cork, wherever. And we would make suggestions. You would have a pretty good idea. Well, we're going to have tea with them. We're going to have dinner with them, hopefully. And then you're going to need visits in addition. That's where we come in. Our custom staff is really seasoned and really good. I mean, they have done things like private helicopters and private tours and private tastings and private, cooking lessons and all that. We can do anything.
So just to sort of reiterate, the families who may be looking to add some heritage, some genealogy kind of type things into their tour really should work with the custom team and make sure that they come with the details.
Yes. Yes, exactly. I mean, we're not able to do the
Of
research,
course, yeah.
but we're able to help you make the dream come true for sure.
Right. You've done your research, you know these are the cities, and then you come to CIE and you say, okay, here's what I've learned, here's where I want to see. Help me create this.
That's right. That's exactly it. That's where we're really good. Yeah.
Perfect.
Now, what would you say? Let's go into the imaginative for a little bit. For each country that you're currently operating tours in, what is like the one place everybody should really try to hit in each one of those countries? So I know in Ireland it's all of Ireland. But like
Yes. Yeah.
if you think about doing a tour in Scotland, what is and it's your first tour there, what should you make sure that you include? What's your first tour in England and you should include?
Okay, Edinburgh for sure in Scotland. It's just amazing there. It's absolutely gorgeous. And of course, the Highlands.
Yeah.
That's my 2 there. In England, oh god. Um, on London, I would say Stonehenge, which is always on the bucket list. Windsor Castle is amazing, and they're all very close together. 2 years ago, the sales team went to the south of England, and I loved it. So I would definitely recommend that. Now, I want to say something to you guys too about, I'm going to change the subject just a little because it just popped in my head and I was trying to remember the weather. Okay.
Mhm.
Weather.
Yep.
People say, when is the best time to go? And I always reply, you don't go there for the weather to any of these places. You go over there for the beauty, you go over there for the culture and the people. But I also say, and you see many rainbows because of that weather, right? But as far as Ireland, particularly, you can sell that in February and March. You could sell
Mhm.
that Easter week and President's week instead of the Caribbean because Ireland is on the Gulf Stream. It runs right on the east side of the country by Dublin. There's actually palm trees in Dublin. And
Wow.
that's why the weather is that temperate. It's never that cold or that hot. It rarely snows. Now, with that being said, I was there in November and it snowed.
I was
Course.
there in November too, in
Okay.
Northern Ireland, and it snowed. Yeah.
Nay, see, I can't really say that. I used to be able to say it never snows, but I can't say that.
Yeah.
But I've been there probably 6 or 7 times in February and brought a coat and rarely wore a coat. You just wear layers.
Yeah.
That being said, it's less expensive and way, way, way less crowded. Just something to consider.
Yeah, because there's sort of a almost like a microclimate sort of in
Yes.
that area. You think because they're so far north that, November would be freezing and snow would be common, and it's just not. And while,
Yeah.
yes, we layered every day, and when my daughter was there this summer, it was probably like high 60s, low 70s when the sun was out. She loved it. She was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"My God, it's 100 degrees at home in New Jersey, but it's like perfect
yeah.
here in Northern Ireland."
Yep, for sure. It's funny. So I mentioned I was in Italy last week. It was so hot,
Mm.
95, 100 every day. And now I'm going to the cold. But I was in Italy last November and it was so beautiful. It was like 70 degrees, not crowded. Last week was everywhere we went was a madhouse. So I think off-season travel is the best. If you're, I mean, I understand if you have young children, you have to stick to the holidays and all that. But my point is, you can still go to Ireland February week and Easter week.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We were in, my sister, mother, and I were in the Highlands, Scotland Highlands last September. So a year ago now. And I think that the weather is part of the ambiance. My most favorite picture is of the three sisters standing in front of the three sisters. And I'm super cozy in my sweatshirt and my jeans, just looking out. It was like it was exactly where I wanted to be and exactly how I wanted to feel. So the weather is part. Being in London, if you're in London and it's sunny the entire time, you almost feel like you've missed something.
Yeah.
Like, where's the rain? Why is it not just a little, where's my fog?
That's so
It's
true.
part of the culture in those
Yeah, it's
areas.
part of the experience. Like, you know what? You're gonna have bad hair.
Yeah.
Let-
Just deal with it.
Yep.
I always tell people, do not bring an umbrella because you're gonna lose it. Just get something with a hood and you're good, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's funny, and they say this in that part of the world, you could get 4 seasons in one day, and that is true. That is
One
true.
of my
So,
favorite Sting songs. Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So that brings me to another question that I have. So one of the things that my clients look for are immersion in fandoms that they know. Harry Potter would be examples there. In Ireland, definitely. You were talking about the Titanic, but also Game of Thrones. Do you have any tours that already include that? I'm sure in the custom we could put things like that, but do you have
Yeah,
any
yeah.
tours that already include things?
We do, but we don't call them that, so you wouldn't know it. All right. So, for example, Game of Thrones. Oh my goodness. So huge, right? Most of that was filmed in Northern Ireland. The Titanic exhibit is on a lot, and it's actually where the Titanic was built, but it's a huge lot. And that's also the same lot that the Game of Thrones was filmed. People don't know this. Now that the show is over, that I think is becoming a museum. I'm not sure.
It is a museum. I've actually been to it. Yes.
Okay, okay. The Cedar Bridge, which is up north by Giant's Causeway, and there's other, but we go there, but we don't call it a Game of Thrones tour. So that I can tell you. Same with Outlander. We go to Blackness Castle. We go to Dune Castle. The guide will talk about it when they're on tour. And Harry Potter, same thing. We do offer the Harry Potter train. You could go on the Harry Potter train, which is included in one of our tours. Again, up on the website in the looking glass, put in Harry Potter train, and you'll see which I think it's one tour includes it.
So it's really important for clients to understand if these are the things that they want to do, that if Heidi and I can say, come to us, we'll put you on that right tour, because it might not say that it's visiting this Game of Thrones, filming location, but we know that it's visiting the
Right.
filming
Exactly.
location.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like Jamie's in Outlander, Jamie's was Lallybroch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of the castle, but that's we do include that as well.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So before we wrap things up, I just do have another question. Because this is really big, we're finding recently, and a lot of companies have started incorporating this over the last few years or so into their model of business and touring. How does CIE support sustainable, responsible tourism in the regions that are so heavily visited by tour companies and tourists and all of those things?
Oh my God, I cannot believe you're asking me this question. We are completely committed now to sustainability and the whole, the using fuel and better fuel and all that stuff, because obviously that's our mode of transportation. So yeah, it's really interesting, and I've never been asked this by anybody, really. So it's such a great question. But yes, I mean, we are definitely going in that direction. Is like I know other companies are too, but it's definitely being done behind the scenes. Yeah.
Good to hear. I know
Mm.
that there's a lot of people that come to us and they're looking for that, what are the companies doing, especially with the over tourism and the environment and all of that. So it's good to know that CIE is on board and working towards being more sustainable.
So, one of the last things that we do, Megan, is that we do a would you rather. We've picked out a couple of questions for you. We promise we'll answer also. So, would you rather have afternoon tea in London or a pint in an Irish pub?
Can I be honest? I would rather have an Irish coffee in an Irish pub.
Oh,
I'm not a beer girl, but I
Mm,
have my Irish coffee with a little Jameson. Oh my God, delish.
no,
perfect.
I like the
Or
adaptation.
have them put Grand Marnier in it. It's really good too. Yeah.
I like that one.
I used to drink Guinness years ago, but it just fills you up so much. I probably shouldn't say this because, it's the milk of Ireland, basically. But Irish coffee is kind of a good second, so I'm good.
I had a friend who used to call it steak in a can. It was so thick and so heavy, it was like drinking a steak. So it was steak in a can.
It's so true. I mean, honestly, they give Guinness to the little babies there. It's crazy.
Mm. Melissa, how about you?
I don't drink coffee and I don't drink beer. So, as much as I love Ireland and the time I've spent in Northern Ireland, I actually will go with afternoon tea in London. I'm a big tea girl, and
Okay.
I'm happy to take an afternoon break with some tea and biscuits.
Love it.
How about you, Heidi?
I would. So I'm a big tea girl, but I drink tea like it's coffee. So I'm more cuppa over teacup. So I would probably, I would choose tea, but honestly, I would do it in either. I think that I would have a very large, steaming hot, milky sweet cup of tea in a pub just as easily as I would have a proper afternoon tea in London.
You're talking a venti, not a whatever. You're talking a big one.
Oh, yeah.
That's
No,
where
I'm talking a cup versus a cup.
yes.
A
Yeah.
cup versus a cup.
I like the dainty. Put my pinky
It's like
out
pink
and
chips and it's done. Well, like, where's the rest of my tea?
Yeah, that's true. But I must say, a Victoria sponge, yeah, there is the joy in that too.
yeah, and I have to just to sort of add to what we had been discussing. My mother had actually given me two of my grandmother's teacups, so I will use those on occasion. They're up on a high shelf. No one's allowed to touch them, but I will occasionally use those with my afternoon tea and biscuits.
Oh, that's
That's great.
amazing.
I love that.
Well, my dog says he'd rather a pint in a pub. He's
Yes.
been very vocal about it, if you can hear him in the background. So he just wanted everyone to know he'll have a Guinness. Well, thank you, Meg, so much for joining us and sharing with us your insights and information about CIE Tours and how our families can visit Ireland and the UK area with CIE. I know that we've got some of our listeners who will be inspired by this and will definitely be reaching out about what we've been talking about today.
It's so good. I was so happy to join you. Thank you both. The questions were great. You gave me real opportunity to tell you about my passion for the company I work for. So
And if you who are listening today would like more information, definitely reach out to Heidi or I so we can help you find that perfect CIE tour. We cannot wait to see where our families head to Ireland and the UK next.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit subscribe on Spotify or your favorite podcast player. And while you're there, feel free to leave us a rating and review.
Check out the show notes for links to Spellbound Vacations LLC and House of Mackey Travel. Until next time, keep living your best travel life.